Welcome back to Law and Crime. We are still in Atlanta, Georgia for the trial of Jeffrey Williams, also known as rapper Young Thug, and his co-defendants. And they're charged, as you know, under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, known as RICO. Now, prosecutors in this case have said that the rapper and his co-defendants are part of a criminal street gang known as Young Slime Life, or YSL. And they're responsible for violent crimes in the Atlanta area, ranging from theft to murder. However, the defense says that the rapper is not part of the criminal street gang and that YSL is just the name of the rapper's record label known as Young Stoner Life. And here we have today and yesterday, actually, the state's key witness, Kenneth Copeland, a.k.a. Little Woody, who's back on the stand. He was called to the stand by the state in regards to the fatal shooting of Donovan Thomas Jr., who was shot and killed during a drive-by shooting at a barbershop back in January 2015. The state has been trying to get information from this witness, Kenneth Copeland, about his relationship with Young Thug. And yesterday, Little Woody was able to speak on how he came to know the rapper. So let's head back into court now and listen to some of this testimony.
Next, do you know someone by the name of Jeffrey Williams?
I heard of him. He's a rapper.
Okay. Do you know?
I know him. I don't know him as Jeffrey Williams. I know him as Young Thug.
All right. And when you say you know him as a rapper, have you ever spent time with this individual?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. When is the first time you recall, strike that, what do you refer to him as?
Young Thug.
Okay. When is the first time that you recall meeting Young Thug?
At the studio.
And roughly, about what year are we talking about?
Before I went to jail.
Which time?
Right. Before that, I went to the feds.
So before 2015. Do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yeah.
Can you identify him by article of clothing he is wearing?
Brown. With dread, sitting next to the bald head guy.
You said that you met at the studio. How did you meet him at the studio?
Through a friend.
What friend?
I really didn't meet him. I just saw him at the studio when I was with a friend.
What friend were you with?
And I asked him, can I take a picture?
What friend were you with when you saw him at the studio?
Doc.
Was it anyone else?
Huh?
Was there anyone else?
There's a lot of people out there. I don't recall who all the people was.
Okay. Do you recall if Tick was present when you first met Miss Young Thug?
I can't recall.
My question is, when he was not in the studio and you hung out with him, where would you hang out with him at?
We used to do fun stuff, like go to bowling alleys and stuff like that. He went to the kids' football game, I remember. I've been to the club with them. I've been on shows, correct that.
You said on shows?
Yeah, like when I watch him perform.
All right.
So Judge Fernand Rucker, so we went to the club, we chatted a little bit, just a regular guys' night out. How does this advance the RICO case that's in we're coming into around day 90 pretty soon, expected to go to 2025. And so far, I haven't heard the name Young Thug really mentioned and say, hey, he told me to kill somebody. And if he did, hey, then you got a deal going. Talk to me.
Well, we have to remember in RICO cases, the reason that they are so lengthy and they do have so many witnesses, and it's interesting because the statute and the cases allow for random criminal actions to be testified about, which normally wouldn't be allowed in cases. And so the laying of the foundation of this particular person who's talking about how many times he went to jail and federal prison and that he was around these folks, I'm assuming that what we're going to hear getting into his testimony is his criminal activity that he was engaged in while he was around. Although he seemed to be a bit of a admirer. He said the first time he saw him, he asked, could he take a picture of him? And so we know that this was one of the key witnesses that was going to point to Young Thug as being the glue that held this whole criminal organization and enterprise together, they may not get there with this witness.
Yeah, and Alexis, my feeling so far is the witness on stand, they ain't, to use the word they use, diming out Young Thug. They ain't doing it. They're not going back to a jail cell having just pointed the finger and say, yeah, he's guilty. Even the ones that took a deal didn't come out and respond to their plea agreement.
I agree with you, Linda. I think that the issue is we don't know exactly what he's going to say, but based on the circumstances that have taken place leading up to this, he's probably not going to be as good of a witness as the prosecution anticipated. So we shall see, but if he makes the connection. But racketeering cases are hard to prosecute as well as defend because there's the spaghetti effect, throwing it up and hoping the jury is going to say, yeah, there's some connection. But they are very long and jurors get bored after a while. And this is going on forever, this case.
Yeah, and I can't remember how many people I took pictures with. I don't know what they've done in their lives. They could have been murderers for all I know. Oh, let me take a picture with you. But anyhow, let's listen to more of this testimony.
Looking at all the pictures I just showed you with Young Thug, do you have the same relationship with Young Thug today that you had when these pictures were taken?
What you mean?
The pictures that I just showed you.
Yeah, you keep asking me this same question, knowing I don't comprehend you when you asking me that. Like, talk to me in a way where I understand.
Were these pictures taken in and around the same time? So that's gonna be my first question.
When I took all these pictures? Around the same time?
Around the same year, 2014,
Yeah.
2015.
They should have been.
Okay. So we're saying that these are taken around 2014, 2015. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not being specific when they was taken. I know these pictures right here, the ones that I do recall, was taken around the same time.
All right. And what year would that be roughly?
I don't know. I can't say what specific. I don't keep up with the days, the months, and all that. I go day by day.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So in 164 Echo Hotel, this picture was taken October 12, 2014.
October 12, 2014.
Yes. Will all these pictures be taken in and around the year 2014, maybe even 2015?
Objection asked and answered.
I'll rule the objection hasn't answered the question yet.
Wait, can I answer that?
Yes, you can.
Can you ask me again?
Sure. Would these pictures be taken around that time period? 2014, let's start there.
Yeah, like, I haven't taken no, like, this only time, like, I don't know.
Is it fair to say that
Objection legal.
I'm gonna sustain this to form, just rephrase.
did you spend most of your time with Young Thug in 2014?
I got to be around them.
Who objects to the form of that question?
I sustain the objection.
In these pictures, does Mr. Williams have blonde hair in most of these pictures?
I apologize.
The same group of pictures that we were just discussing. 164 Echo Hotel, 160.
Thank you.
All right.
Does he have blonde hair in these pictures?
Is blonde and gold the same?
Do you think blonde and gold are the same?
I wouldn't just ask you that if I thought it.
Oh, Judge, you and I are both, we're all chuckling. Like, what you mean? Are these, what are these pictures taken? October 2014? Somebody handed me pictures now, and and trust me, I'm not on trial for RICO. I wouldn't know. He's like, what? You know, like, what are you talking about, crazy woman? A judge up there, what are you doing, Judge?
So every trial attorney, whether you're a prosecutor, defense attorney, plaintiff's litigator, defense litigator, if you've been in trial, for more than 2 years, you've had an experience where you started to go down a road that you believe was a really easy question that the witness was going to answer, but either because they were trying to be an obstructionist or because the question that you thought was easy was actually a little more complicated than easy, and you end up here. And you end up here being ineffective in your questioning and going down a side road where you kind of got to collect yourself and your thought to figure out, can I get an easy answer to this question that's really non-consequential to the ultimate question of what I'm asking about? And I know that prosecutor is right now very frustrated with the answers that she's receiving from somebody who she thought was going to be a simple answer to the question.
Yeah, Alexis, even the judge is sustaining objections that the defense is making about her questions. Like, well, were these pictures taken around the same time? And we're getting like, how does the jury not laugh? We're laughing. We're laughing.
I think they're laughing too. I mean, the best was the gold and the yellow. And then she's like having a dialogue with him about that. She did not have control over this questioning. And when you get in that situation, like the judge just said, you need to just stop and regroup and stop going down that rabbit hole, because continuing to go down that rabbit hole, I can't even say it, is, doesn't appear very good in front of the jury. She just needed to stop, take another approach, or maybe go back and get that timeline, which really is not super, super important related to what the testimony she was trying to get out.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, as you know, the jury's been there. I mean, we're talking about 2014, that maybe he did some crimes in 2014. And at the same time, he knew Jeffrey Williams. Whether that gets us to a conviction or not, well, it beats me. Anyhow, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go back into the courtroom, moving our cameras to Massachusetts. Karen Reed, the cross-examination of Trooper Proctor, still happening. Stay with us. We are Law and Crime. All right, that was the scene in the courtroom yesterday when the state's key witness, Kenneth Copeland, a.k.a. Lil Woody, told Judge Glanville that his attorney, Kayla Bumpus, is fired. When Glanville inquired, Little Woody's attorney, Kayla Bumpus, confirmed her intent to leave him as counsel. And this came after a day after Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, was held in contempt and then sentenced to 20 days in jail. And to complete his sentence, he'll be spending the next 10 weekends in the Fulton County Jail with his client. Now, this is all because Steele did not reveal a source that told him of a secret ex parte hearing with the witness, Little Woody. And in said meeting, Woody allegedly confessed to the fatal shooting of Donovan Thomas Jr. Now, right now, I want to take you back to that moment where a key witness, Kenneth Copeland, told Judge Glanville that he wants his attorney, Kayla Bumpus, fired. And what came after?
It has been brought to the court's attention that Mr. Copeland's counsel, Ms. Bumpus, would like to be released. Is that correct, madam? Yes, sir. Okay, all right. Sir, Mr. Copeland, is it your desire to release your counsel at this point in time?
She fired.
She's fired? Okay. So do you wish to represent yourself in these particular, in terms of any issues you may have in this particular?
Do I got a choice?
I'm sorry?
Do I got a choice?
Yes, you do.
And what are those?
You can keep your lawyer that you have right now.
I don't want her.
All right. You could certainly hire another lawyer, or the court could appoint you a lawyer.
What I need a lawyer for?
Right. No, it's just the court is just asking you whether it's your choice, sir.
I'm good.
All right, I have to bring my guest, Alexis Rosenberg, because she is a trial attorney, former federal litigator, and she's at present federal litigator at Fanon Rucker, a judge, retired former prosecutor. Alexis, let me start with you. Okay, so there's a witness on the stand. We all see it. And you're the prosecutor, just putting you in the prosecution's shoes. You can't get what you want to get out of the witness. He's firing his attorney. He may have told the judge in chambers, that's another issue, that he's guilty of the murder for which YSL is being charged with. Tell me how difficult this is right now.
Standpoint, this is pretty difficult because you have your own witness that's refusing to testify fires the attorney. Now we have, does he understand what's going on? Because the judge just said, do you want another attorney? He's asking the judge questions. I mean, this is a mess. This whole thing is a mess. There really are no words for this. The judge really is handling, in my opinion, this in not the best case scenario.
And Judge Fernand Rucker, before I show you more of what's happening in the courtroom, Judge Glanville seems to have completely lost control, both of himself and of this courtroom. Now, you are a retired judge. You are a great judge. You're terrific. It's important not to do that, isn't it? And certainly an ex parte possible meeting, which we'll talk about. Talk to us about this.
My goodness, get the novel ready because it's going to be written after this case is over. Yeah, as judges, we are taught very sternly to keep control of our cases, keep control, particularly of trials. We got juries, and there's a lot of fingers, a lot of things happening at all times, and you really have to be very deliberate about maintaining the course and the kind of control of how things are proceeding. And you got to be careful how you do that because you don't want to steer any witness into saying certain things that they might not intend or that may not be truthful. But you can certainly have a very heavy hand on the course of proceedings such that they move along as they need to be without all of this side stuff. And it's 20 days in jail on weekends. And I understand that there was an ex parte conversation with this witness and witness. I know it might have been in a meeting with you, but what do you want to do? Well, she's fired. I mean, wow, what is going on here?
Yeah, that's what we're all asking. But I want you, and so we can scope this out, to listen to what else happened in that courtroom after his attorney, Caleb Bumpus, came back with a signed document to withdraw as his counsel.
Okay, did you have an opportunity to talk with your client, Mr. Copeland?
Yes, Judge. Can we talk to the phone?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Yes, and I got him to sign a written consent discharging me. I filed a motion to withdraw and I proposed an order.
Okay, can I see it, please?
May I approach?
You can. Do you have a formal order that you're going to prepare with the style of the case and the case number?
Yes, Judge. That's just his signature. I prepared an order and I filed a motion with the clerk's office. I'm waiting on a file stamp.
All right, okay. Mr. Copeland, let me hand you this document. Did you read and sign that document?
Yes.
All right. Did you have an opportunity to talk with Ms. Bumpus, your satisfaction about pros and cons of her withdrawing as your counsel in this case?
Yes.
Do you wish for her to go ahead and withdraw as counsel?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Let me have that back if you wouldn't mind. Okay, I'll mark this as the next court exhibit in order, madam. We got it. We'll just mark it as the next court exhibit in order. Do you need a copy of it to file with your? Because it'll be made part of the record. But do you need a copy of it?
No, Judge.
Okay. All right. All right. So I will go ahead and authorize you to withdraw as his counsel in this matter. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
I'm excused.
Not quite yet. Madam, as a result, I'm going to also have you appear on the 25th of June. I have filed an order to show cause, and I'm going to give you a copy of it. You can read it, acknowledge it, just that you received a copy of it, and we'll see you on the 25th of June at 9:30 in courtroom 1C.
All right.
So you need to be here for that day, okay?
Okay.
All right. We'll see you then.
So, Judge Fernand Rucker, I'm going to start with you here first. All right. Now we have Brian Steele, who is sentenced to jail, and he can spend it, by the way, in the same jail cell with his client for the next, number of weekends. We have this attorney in order to show cause because she may have been with the client And the judge thinks somehow she squealed about an ex parte hearing that shouldn't have even happened, that should have never occurred. Where's the assignment judge? Where is the Georgia Supreme Court just sua sponte stepping in? Where is Fannie Willis to shut this thing down? Where is any accountability here?
Yeah, I have to say that I am a bit surprised that none of the lawyers in this case have filed motions with the Supreme Court or even with the presiding judge, administrative judge. I'm quite surprised at that because this does seem to be a lot, just as we watch and not even particularly involved, just what we're watching seems to be a violation of some of our judicial codes of conduct in how the judge is moving forward. And my experience is that lawyers, particularly litigating attorneys who actively practice law, are not shy or afraid to file motions to have judges disqualified or to seek redress when they feel that they're being done wrong in the middle of a case. So I'm a bit surprised that we haven't seen that here.
Yeah, and Alexis, this follows on Brian Steele being sentenced to jail, my friend Ashley Merchant going to represent him, saying this is not proper because he complained about the judge having an ex parte meeting, and the judge wants to know where he got, there you see actually, where he got the information from. Well, the judge should have been giving him the information. So it's one thing on top of another on top of another. This case is a mess. I have called this judge, and I said he's crazy here. He's getting involved in himself as opposed to trying to keep the case on track. Your thoughts?
This is the wild, wild west. There's no rhyme or reason. I mean, what is he going to throw all of defense attorneys basically in jail and hold them all in contempt because they're trying to follow the rules of civil procedure and, and they had making arguments and defending these defendants, which is their job. He is just going, I mean, there are really no words is why I'm stumbling on my words because it doesn't even make sense and why no one has intervened. I mean, where's the chief judge even having a conversation with him or pulling this back? It seems to be getting worse and worse by the day, not better.
Yeah, and you know what? We're going to take a quick break, but then I'm going to have to bring you back into that courtroom as to what's been happening to see more of this craziness and a trial that we have never, ever seen the likes of this, at least on this network. Stay with us here. We are Law and Crime.